All right, perfect. We should be live by now. Um, Afternoon, folks. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the AsyncAPI Mentorship Maintainership FAQ. So, I'm gonna wait like 2 to 3 more minutes to see who else joins, and while we check if everything is working on the technical side. So yeah, let's wait for a few more minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Then we can start. All right. I think whoever joins will get us on the way. So while we're waiting for everybody, hi folks, my name is Tuli. I'm the Async API community manager. So I'll be co-hosting this meeting with Ace. Who's gonna join us in a few minutes once he sorts out his camera issues, his technical issues. But yeah, today live, I've got a couple of folks with me on Zoom. And yeah, welcome to everybody who will be watching us live or watching us live now. Afternoon from Southern Africa and evening, morning, depending on where you are in the world. So today is the maintainership mentorship program FAQ. So this is where we'll be discussing all things related to the Async API maintainership, what it's all about. Yeah, and asking like answering actually questions that folks might have. So with me today, I would like if folks start joining me live to introduce themselves. So yeah, Savish, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Uh, am I audible?
Yes, okay, you're audible.
Uh, Greetings, Thuli. Yeah, I guess you spelled it well. My Slack name is Light. I have contacted you once.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I have joined the organization on 1st of October as a contributor, And yes, I really love the way active this organization is. I really like this, and this was my first organization which I was looking for contribution, and I just stuck to it because of the way it acted, the way it was active. I really liked it. So I'm looking forward for contributions. I'm currently working on generator project. I was just reading the docs. I have set up the project, and yeah, just checking it out. So about myself, I'm a third year grad, majoring in computer science, and I'm from India.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Light. I know you is Light, right?
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for
It's
joining in
it's, it's
today.
great meeting you guys. I'm
Uh,
looking forward. And yeah,
thank
signing
you
off.
so much. Thank you so much. All right, next up we've got Faut. Do you mind saying hi?
Hi everyone, actually. Yeah, so my name is Fuad Alifati. I've been in AsyncAPI for a while now. I started by volunteering with the conference coordination group, and I've been attending lots of meetings and inner workings within AsyncAPI to learn about it, as well as even collaborating with Lucas on some generator repositories as well. So yeah, I'm also in my third year. I'm studying systems engineering at the University of Lagos. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. We have Manu. Do you mind saying hi to everybody?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So, hello, I'm Manul from India and I'm working as a software engineer. I graduated from university a year back. And yeah, I started AsyncAPI and I got to know about the organization as I registered for the volunteering of the virtual conference. So, I attended one of the meets and looking forward for the
Mhm.
mentorship.
Awesome, awesome. And also we've got Mohan. Hi, Mohan. Do you mind saying hi to everybody?
Hello, I am on. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So, hello, I am on. I am from India. I am currently in my third year of college, and I am looking forward to make a proposal in generator repository for the mentorship program. And I have made some contributions, and I am deep diving into the code bases and trying to resolve some issues with it. And that's all.
Awesome, awesome. And finally we've got Kate. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Do you mind saying hi to everybody?
Hi everyone. Actually, that is not my real name. My real name is Mohammed. That is my GitHub name. So that is why I put it. So I came to know about
Okay.
Async API this month only while I was making a project of mine, and I encountered across Glee, that is the framework, and I found that very crazy. So
Okay.
I decided I have free time, so I should also contribute to Async API.
All right, thank you so much. Please drop your name on the chat so that I get it right. All right, and we have finally Mr. Aziz Elegede.
Okay.
How are you doing? Okay.
Hi,
Hi,
am
Ace.
I
You
am I audible?
you're frozen that side.
Am I
Yeah, I
audible?
can hear you.
So I'm so
Yes.
sorry for joining late. I hope I didn't miss so much. So I was having a lot of technical issue from my camera now to my microphone. It's basically not functioning. I have no idea why. So I'm basically using the mic for my iPhone, and I hope I sound clear enough.
Yeah, you are very clear.
Yes, you are.
Cool.
Awesome.
So I'm Ace. I love like hosting live streams, even though I haven't hosted anyone in a long time. Thanks to having someone like Tuli in the community, I mean, she always steps up. So, so yeah, I'm so excited to be here today with you folks.
Awesome, awesome. We have one last person who joined, Abby J. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Do you
Yeah,
mind introducing yourself?
yeah. So, hi everyone, myself Abhi Jain.
and I just like saw the invitation of this call on the Async API channel. So I joined this, and I am an open source enthusiast. I've been part of various open source projects as well as programs, and I'm currently doing some like doing an in-person internship at Germany now, and I'm like want to know more about this mentorship and Async API community. Very excited for this.
Awesome, awesome. All right, as you can see, the call is full today, and everybody has introduced themselves, and I'm so happy. Today we've got a full house, so we can get started. Ace, yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so without no further ado, let's get started. As you're all familiar, I believe everyone here today is basically interested in the mentorship program. I mean, I'm so excited that we are officially like doing our third edition, I guess, mentally. So we've come a long way, actually. We've done really amazing stuff with amazing people, and we are so glad we are still going to do it again this year, and also probably next year, and many more to come the following years. So in today's edition, we have like so many interesting things, especially now that we are now experimenting with the maintainership aspect of the program, which is basically turning contributors to maintainers, right? So I think this is the right path to go. This also makes us have a very sustainable project on the long runs, and also, avoid the trap that we've experienced so many times in Google Summer of Code and also in past mentorship programs. I know you might be thinking, hey, so what is a trap? Well, the trap is contributors that came just for the money, right? So we are trying so much to avoid that this year. So now we want contributors that are really interested in the project and maybe one day want to see themselves as maintainers of the project in the long run. So if you have any question about this whole new perspective of the mentorship program, please let me know.
I have a question. Like you mentioned that most of the people do it like for like monetary gains and things like that, and you want some people for the long terms. Like, so how you're like planning to achieve that, and like how you will get to know like if someone is like genuinely interested on that, or like if there is a new member that is joining the AsyncAPI community and don't have that much idea about the project, so how they could like get a idea around it if they are like joining a mentorship project, and like how they can transit from a contributor to maintainer, and that like if you can share your thoughts on.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane. So due to the last experience of conducting different mentorship programs in the last couple of years, both Google Summer of Code and the past mentorship programs, so we've actually been able to like, figure this out. Not 100%, but at least I would say 90% of the time now we are getting it right. We still have like some, I don't know, maybe I should call it bad eggs. But I mean, like, those are things that are not avoidable, but we are just only trying our best to make sure we subsidize this as much as possible. And now, one thing that actually works for us is being genuinely interested in the contributors and the kind of contributions they are making. So previously, we mostly just do, oh, you've contributed to AsyncAPI before. I feel you are a perfect candidate. But we notice that is wrong, right? Now, we are not just interested in you've contributed to AsyncAPI, you've done some good first issues. Now, we are solely focusing on the community relationship, how often you are interacting with the community before the program, right? And the kind of contributions you made, right? And also, now we also like realize strong proposal isn't everything, right? Which was what made us like these. I think that was in two GSOCs before, or a GSOC before this current one. We were solely focused on proposals, right? Oh, who has the best proposal? And now we realize that that shouldn't be the thing, right? we should solely be interested in folks that are really, really interested in the project, that have made really meaningful contributions in the past. And now it doesn't have to be even code contributions, right? It can be contribution such as just engaging with the community, right? Being interested in the community in general, right? So these are like the measures we've used, and we are still continue to like, work on and improve on to help us better select better candidates that are really interested in the project, not just for monetary gain, right? I know money is cool, but right, I mean, you shouldn't just take the money and leave, right? Take the money and show some appreciation. If you have another question.
Yeah, so the thing is, like you mentioned it nicely, and I also think that it is great to like not just like focus on the proposal, but on other aspect as well. My question is like, for example, if there is a new contributor want to be part of the community, right? So, but like he or she doesn't have the much experience with the Async API community, but they do have the experience with the open source. Like if you see a contributor who is like contributing to from past 2 to 3 years in a organization, even they like continue to work after their maybe GSOC or something like that. So do you like prefer those contributors, or like do you want contributors specifically who are like more interested or like more engaged with the Async API community in the past, or like it can be anyone who's like from the different open source project or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think, so basically, like we used to say, contributing to Async API is basically a add-on, not a requirement, right? So it's basically a add-on, like it's just like, that plus one kind of thing. So it's not like really a requirement. And mostly now that we are really trying to focus on the mentorship aspect of the mentorship program, I believe we should start looking also for people that have already like has experience contributing to open source. It doesn't have to be a AsyncAPI, in as much that there is proof that you actually, made some meaningful contributions to maybe different organizations. I mean, it's open source, right? Everything you do is probably going to be open.
Yeah. And also, like if like someone has the previous maintainer experience, for example, if they like contributed and worked as a maintainer in some organization previously, so will that experience will be helpful for like the mentorship or maybe like part of the API community?
Absolutely. I think having previous mentorship experience will definitely, probably improve your chances of getting selected, which basically means now you don't have to, you won't require so much when it comes to like onboarding you to how to like start maintaining project in the long run. So you already have this experience. So I think that is also like a plus one if you are interested in participating in the AsyncAPI mentorship program this year.
Yeah. Also, one more question. When contributed to some of the other orgs, like most of the org, like whenever they want to like sustain a participant or like contributor, the problem they are getting, like for example, if a contributor is working on a part of the project, right, and they want them to be like continue to work on that, so there might be sometimes time constraint, and I saw like orgs are like sometimes very hesitate to like experiment the accessibility with the new contributors, right? For example, if I contributed to some project and like I contributed to some smaller part of it, but like the repository, it contain like a lot of code base and like things like that. So sometimes or bit hesitate to like give certain access to the new contributor, sometimes because they don't have much experience, and sometimes they like mistakenly did something that is like not good for the org or things like that. So is there any training that you are also thinking about giving to the new contributors so that they can at least understand like what are the different best practices that you follow under the async community, and like if there is any thing that you are planning to educate those contributors to like continue to work as a maintainer or like even as a contributor in the async API community?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is one of the reasons why we always try our best to select the best mentors in these programs, right? Because we believe mentors play a really, really good part, especially if you like. I've actually had these thoughts, right? Because I'm going to mentor one of the Async API React, the Async API React projects. Also like trying to like onboard a new maintainer to the program. So I started thinking, right, how can I, get the best because I'm pretty sure whoever I'm going to select isn't going to be familiar with the code base out of the box, right? Which basically means I have to do some onboarding, I have to do some trainings, right? So what I decided to do, which is also probably would make sense if other mentors like are gonna like approach this, but I believe different mentors have different ways of like doing their things. But for me, I believe what's gonna work for me, right, and also trying to like be equal to every single candidate interested in my project is to onboard every single applicant that is interested in my project, right? That is what I plan on doing, right? So because I mean, it will be easier if I eventually try to onboard people. It doesn't have to be the person that is selected to work on the project, but if I onboard different people that are interested in the project, on how the project is structured, how to get started, how to like make meaningful contributions, then I believe on the long run, we would eventually have more active contributors, right? So because if I typically just like review all the applications and just select just one candidate, let's say you, right, then the rest of the candidates would probably, move on and, well, I'm not selected. Why do I have to contribute, right? But if I, treat every single applicant the same way, I try to onboard as many as possible. So even though they don't eventually make it as a main candidate, right? I feel they would still, want to like contribute, right? Because now they are familiar with the code base. Now they can make meaningful contributions. And also like with the plan of trying to like host this new let's talk about contributing, which I was supposed to host one year, but due to some really natural that was beyond my control, I couldn't host it, which I plan on hosting another one next week. So which is the goal is just to like onboard contributors, like talking about projects that are already in the Sync API ecosystem and how to make meaningful contributions to this project, and probably also like invite other maintainers to like talk about their projects and how to like make meaningful contributions. So if we have these streams during this application phase, I believe a lot of interested candidates would benefit from it. Does that maybe answer your question, Eugene?
Yeah. I also have a question, but I think like Sarvesh raised his hand, so I want like he can do first. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Turi, please continue.
Okay. All right. No, just to add on what Ace is saying, when you join the community, the first thing that you will get the moment you join, you will get like an onboarding message. That message will contain like all the onboarding guides that each person needs to get started with the community. So once you get started and have a particular interest in a certain project, let me say for instance generator, you first go to the generator and start with the basics and getting to understand. Get to the repo, read the README on the requirements and how the code base is structured, so that it helps also the maintainer or the repo maintainers to know where they can start to help you. At least if you can start by doing the basics, and if you have like additional questions like, okay, I'm struggling to import these, or I'm struggling with this area, at least it will be a starting point whereby the maintainers can really answer your questions. So this is the reason why when you join the channel, we have these onboarding messages, so that at least it gives you a starting point on where to start. And once you get like familiar with that and read through the community and get familiar with the community, it will get better, like easy to get like help. And yeah, that's all I need to add from what you asked, Abhijay. Savish, you can
Yeah,
continue.
what Abhijay, I stand with Abhijay because I saw that we lack maintainers for Hacktoberfest. I tried to apply for it, but then I realized that I really don't have much experience with that. I needed some guidance regarding the maintainership part. Like how can I become a maintainer? I don't know much about it. Like I started open source recently. That's the part. Apart from that, what I was saying is, for whichever project we have, right, we can simply start something like a developer advocate. Not exactly that, but whoever our maintainer is, he can simply make a video of how we are using the project and what our main aspects of with respect to the project is, like what we are exactly building. I know we have a great documentations. I have gone through it. It has helped me a lot. But we can say for people who are new to this, it can be very helpful for them if they have a video tutorial. I had gone through the playlist which we had recorded 9 months prior with respect to generator project. And going through those videos, the explanation, I realized it. And but I couldn't see how I can actually test it out, like test in a sense how I can work on it. So that I had to
Okay.
go through the documentations once, like the documentation released on the site.
All right. For in regards to generator, we have like Lucas and two mentors who are in charge of helping with generator. So did you join the generator channel and also post the questions that you might have?
Yes. No. My point was to make it easier for the people, new coming people. What we can do is we can simply run the project once and show it to them. Like we can make a video. How do I say it? I'm not able to state it properly. I'll just type it out once I'm properly figured out what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
So, Savish, so I think I kind of understand your point. And this was what we were trying to achieve earlier this year with the maintenance working group that we created, which is to, provide a well-documented way of onboarding new maintainers to different parts of the AsyncAPI ecosystem, which basically consists of different projects. But we had some roadblocks because of some things that happened, which didn't give us enough motivation to continue the working group, because most of the core members of the working groups were affected by the layoff that happened. So they were busy. Now they are busy looking for other places and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I believe that shouldn't stop us from doing something interesting to figuring out how to onboard maintainers, and which is also the main thing that actually inspired the maintainership aspect of the mentorship program, right? So this is like a pilot thing, right? Nothing is cast in stone. So the whole idea is to experiment with it, and we are going to document it based on our experience, right? Because we have different maintainers. Most maintainers don't have time, to start documenting how to onboard a new. I mean, no, they don't want to do that, right? I know it sounds selfish, but they don't want to, right? Because they have other things that they wanted to do, and that was the whole idea of the working group we created, right? Which is to help, help these maintainers take this workload from them and do it for them, right? But yeah, so it happened, shit happens, and now we had other priorities. But now the goal of this maintainership program, I wouldn't say the main goal, but some of the advantage of doing this pilot program is for us to also gather this experience to know how we can then approach it to the general, right? To the general public. For someone like you, or for a new contributor that's coming that is interested in being a maintainer, so we can have all these things documented.
Yeah. And also just to add, for generator, there are always meetings that are happening in the generator if you're particularly interested in the generator channel. So be sure to make sure that you join what is happening. If you have any questions, for instance, like now, if you're struggling in getting to understand what the whole generator is all about, the generator channel is very active. Like I said, you don't need sometimes, yes, we don't sometimes I just have to admit we don't have time because of multiple things that the maintainers do. And number two, not everyone who is maintaining a project is working full time or does AsyncAPI. So also give them chance in time. So whenever you're asking a constructive question, make sure that is constructive and straight to the point. And also don't be afraid to really see what other people are doing, or maybe reach out to other contributors who are currently working on that project and ask, okay, hey, I'm having a blocker in this, can you help me? So that's another way to do it as well. Abhijay.
Yeah, so thanks for the clarifications on these things. Like I have a quick session, so maybe you can say a question. Like as you mentioned on the onboarding part, like you are doing it a bit differently this time. But I just want to mention like it would be great if you invite participants, like if you like a proposal or maybe something around the participant for a one-on-one, maybe a interview, or you can say a one-on-one chat, so that like you can understand them and they can also understand the expectation that you have around the project, right? Because that helps a lot. Like sometimes these things will also make it clear for participants as well as for the mentors that the around the availability of the participants and around the what are their capabilities, and if they can extend it and things like that. I think like these things will be very helpful. I think like most of the orgs I think do this. Like I participated in some of the like I guess maybe CERN do this a lot. So you can like also maybe try to do something like this, maybe a one-on-one chat, if you feel like that is helpful and that is not that much time consuming, because like that will also help, because sometimes there is a participant that is that they can like contribute great but they don't have the availability, right? So you can like maybe mention these points during those chats, or maybe try to understand their other commitment and things like that, like what are your expectations around it, because I know like sometimes we get selected and there are like different new tech stack and new things came up, right? And participants are like not well versed around those things, then they took more time than it expected, and project eventually gets suffer due to these things, right? So it's better to like understand them and like maybe make your expectation clear to them. So I think like if this helpful, we can use this practice. And I think I need to like drop off soon, I have a meeting. But yeah, thanks a lot for this call.
All right. Thank you so much for joining. Manu?
Yeah, I had a question regarding the schedule. Like, so till when in October are you accepting the applications or the proposal?
Okay, so the announcement will be at the end of the call. So I will just announce the application date and time. Yeah, so
Okay,
let's
fine.
wait until let's wait until the end of the call. Yeah, so
Thank
just to clarify a few things, like the mentorship program is comprised of different projects. So each project has a different requirement. So once we go towards the end of the call, you will see that each and every project is quite different. The application phases and the application ways are different. One project is different to the next. The requirements from the mentor is different from the requirements. Let me say my requirements will be different from the requirements that ACE needs. So another tip is to make sure that you really read through the requirements. And also, if you feel like you don't know exactly what the expectations are, please feel free to like reach out to the mentor and say, hey, I'm interested in this particular project, but the thing I don't understand, like the expectations of the project, can you please explain? They'll be very happy to like really explain, but please take time to really go through the requirements, go through the projects. Don't be in a rush. And also, if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to the mentor. The mentors are super nice and they really, really are helpful. So please make sure that you reach out to the mentor, read the requirements of each and every project. Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody who has any questions so far, and the whole maintainership program. Any questions? Okay, let me check on YouTube while I'm waiting for the questions on live. Oh, hi, Akshat. Thank you so much for joining. By the way, who is the host today? Oh yeah, I'm co-hosting with Ace. Ace is here with me today. Can you imagine? All right. As Ace said, this year, we are experimenting on the maintainership program, and what that entails, we're looking for people who are ready to like take ownership. It's not like a regular mentorship program anymore, but it's more like people looking to grow more in open source, to grow in a way that they would like to take ownership and to becoming maintainers. So it is a real process. It's not something that is we are also learning. So each mentorship, like for instance, we implemented some of that in GSOC, and we are now carrying it to the mentorship program. So it's something it's an ongoing process. We have everything. We are learning as well while we are implementing as well. I know we have like a 90% success rate, like majority of the mentees, majority of the people who have participated in the maintainership program have successfully like they're transitioning into maintainers and training. So this is one of the things that we are currently doing, like to retain and sustain like the project in the long run. I don't know. Do you have any other questions in regards to the community itself, application phase, what to expect? Do you need tips on how to apply for the project as well? Please feel free to ask.
Yeah,
It
so
would
I would
be
like to ask like how many application phases will there be? Or is it just depending on the type of projects I'm applying for that will have the type of application phase?
Okay, each project, when the application phase will be open, as soon as I announce it after the call. So each you will gonna see like the list of the projects that are there. So the requirements will be there on how to structure your proposal, and if there are tasks that you need to complete, then you go through the tasks that you need to complete as part of the application phase. So that's I'm sure that answers the question, right, Paul?
Yes, it answers the question. And I've been able to like go through some of the projects as well on the GitHub.
Yes, you will get a link at the end of the call, and you will get to see like the list of the projects that are there. You'll get to select what interests you and what you need to do in order to apply. Yeah. All right. Any other questions that you might have? All right. So just to give you a glimpse of how the whole application will look like. In your proposal, to participate, there will be a few general requirements like for the whole projects that are currently under the mentorship. Then there will be individual requirements for each project. So as I said, please make sure you carefully review the announcement and you go through the list. Just to share a few tips of what to do in your application. First things first is to make sure that you read through the requirements, because majority of the mentors, that's what they're looking for, if somebody is attentive to detail and follows the instructions. Number two, please avoid using AI to answer or to do some of the tasks that is required of you. I think I need to really emphasize that, because once they see that you use AI to do a task or to answer the questions, that automatically disqualifies you. Yeah, mentors are not fools, because they take time to really review those proposals. So yes, it's good to have AI as an assistant, but please make sure that you really write from your own words, not to just use AI. Number three, take time to research on the repo, the previous projects that have participated, see how their success stories have been done. Go through the blog. Each and every cohort, we have a blog, and see how the success rate has been from last year, and use it like for your to craft your proposal this year as well. Yeah, that's tip number three. I have a fourth tip, but it seems to be running away from my head. Yeah. But yeah, most importantly, please take time to really read the requirements needed for each project, because if you take time, it will reflect on your proposal, research what is needed. AsyncAPI is full of resources. If you really take time, it's full of resources. Each and every repo is well documented. Go to the docs, go to see other presentations that have been done, go to the channels, like there is pinned information or pinned resources that are there. Take time to research. That will reflect like in your proposal to see, okay, this proposal is well researched and somebody is really committed into participating in the program. But yeah, those are some of the tips that I have. Ace, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I also have a couple of tips, if you don't mind. I believe you've covered most of them already, but I would just like to touch on some of them again. One thing that I always love advising contributors especially if you're interested in any of our programs. It doesn't have to be the mentorship program. It doesn't have to be Google Summer of Code. Any kind of programs that we participate in is early engagement, right? You should try to engage as early as possible. I mean,
Exactly.
this gives you time for you to like understand the project, talk to the maintainers or triagers. It doesn't have to be maintainers, right? You will talk to anyone that's familiar or even regular contributors, people that are already contributing to the code. And most of these people are available on Slack, right? So if you need anyone, if you don't even if you don't know how to reach out to them, you can always reach out to Sully and I. We would definitely point you to the right direction on who to talk to and how to approach them. The second thing is communication is effective. Like you need to know how to communicate effectively. Please do not assume like your mentor or whoever it is you're trying to communicate with will understand what you're trying to say, right? Sometimes we all come from different background, different places around the globe. We interpret things differently, right? So please try to like make your communication as clear as possible, not to like come off as a pain for someone else. So please try to communicate effectively, choose your wordings wisely. So the third thing I would say as an advice for interested candidates is also ask for feedbacks, right? Don't be scared to ask for feedbacks, no matter how tiny your contribution is. Either you're contributing to docs, code, or design, always try to like ask for feedback. When a maintainer or a contributor like reviews your code or your design, please know that they want the best for you and they want the best for the community. And that is why they are like, commenting on your code, or that's why your pull request has 24 comments. It's not because they hate you, it's because they want the best for you and the best for the community, right? So please ask for feedback after you did that good first issue on how you can like continue to improve yourself and also like make effective contributions. And the one that's mostly important, please respect maintenance time, right? It's not easy being a maintainer, right? It's really, really important. Please do respect maintenance time, and don't get mad if your pull request wasn't reviewed quickly or your issue like wasn't like there was no comment on it. Please, because maintainers are really busy. Some of them have jobs in other places and they're only maintaining in their free time. And that is the whole idea behind we trying to like explore this maintainership part, right? So we can have and onboard as many maintainers as possible in each of our projects. So we can like, drop down these time in response to contributors. So please respect maintenance time. It's really important. And one more thing is please participate beyond code, right? So a lot of people just want to come and write code and like clank their mechanical keyboards all day long. But please, we also value contributions beyond code, right? So we value contributions such as just engaging in the community, because the community is what keeps your code alive, right? So without the community, your contribution means nothing, right? So you can contribute beyond code, beyond design, beyond documentation. Just engaging with the community alone is a contribution, and we appreciate all kind of contributions. So that is one thing I also want to do. One thing I also want to like mention on, please prioritize code quality and documentation, right? Please, it's not easy. I know, right? Contribution is not easy. Please try to, I mean, I would say it because I just have to say it, right? Sometimes the reason why the maintainer isn't interested in reviewing your pull request is because it's an headache, right? So you need to like try to, maybe you're contributing to documentation and you just see this whole thing, you're interested, and the next thing you do is open a pull request. But then when they review the pull request, it's like, it's not matching, right? So, and so they would rather not waste their time, reviewing such pull requests. They'll better do something else. So if you're doing contribution, please try to like contribute make quality contributions and not stress maintainers out. I don't know, I just keep saying maintainers because it's not easy being a maintainer. So please, I mean, it would be good if you like could follow some of these advices to make you come better off as a potential candidate.
Yeah. Just to add on to what Ace said, patience is very important. So once you put out a pull request, give maintainers time to review your work. Like Ace has said, and like I said, that some of the maintainers have other jobs, they don't work full-time maintaining, but they're actually taking time to come and help you. So of which it's really a big advantage to have seniors coming to help us. So please respect their time. Please be patient. Open communication as well is very, very important. So don't assume that the maintainer knows what is happening in your head. We live very far off all over the world. So over communicate rather than under communicating, over communicate every single thing. Just make sure you communicate, and also be open to constructive criticism and feedback. That will make you better. I know it might annoy you. Sometimes you're gonna see me in one of these days while you're contributing. I will come and share my 2 cents. It might come off as being rude, but like I said, it's something that we are looking for to better the community and also to better your work. Even when you are showcasing your work out there, you can feel proud of the work that you are currently doing and that you are currently sharing as well. So please make sure that you follow our advice. We know better. We know better. We have learned. So we are taken from a place of experience. So that's why we are having this call to come and share and to also listen also to any questions that you might have. And also, like, if you disrespect your mentor or don't end up finishing your work or you're slow in doing your work, the mentor will fail you. So yeah, so you have to really be committed in the program, because it's not something that, oh, I'm just contributing, getting mine and I can go. But if your work is poor and your code is poor, or maybe you're using AI just to copy and paste your work, trust me, you're going to fail. And the mentor's time is very valuable. So let's not take advantage of it. Yes. We have a question on YouTube, actually, from Miracle. How long will the program be? Ace?
Okay. So just like Google Summer of Code, so the interesting thing about this question is how we kind of, not to brag, but I feel we started doing this before Google Summer of Code, then also approach this way of doing things, right? So we have really flexible timelines. Before this year, Google Summer of Code always have this strict timeline. So it's either you do it for 3 months, but now it is now flexible, right? So based on the project duration, there is different timelines, right? So we've been doing this approach ever since we started the mentorship program, and we are still going to continue doing it, right? So different projects have different timeline, right? So we have an initial phase of 3 months. So, which is the initial phase for first evaluation and second evaluation, but it is not fixed, right? Nothing is cast in stone, right? We have projects that take 160 hours, some will take 240 hours. So you don't expect us to have the same timeline for these two projects, right? So based on the project category, how the difficulty level of the project will determine the timeline of the project. Also, the mentors have every right to fix their own timelines. But the most important thing is it will be communicated in the mentorship channel.
All right. Yes, exactly. Like, you can't expect design project to be the same as React project. Those are two different things. And it also depends also with the mentor, with the mentee as well, like the time. That's why we say communicate. So in case you need more time to learn, or maybe you need more time in onboarding. So that's why we say communication is very important. And that also affects the factors. Those are one of the factors that play in the duration of the project. We have another question. Is this mentorship program kind of related to GSOC? No.
No.
This is no. This is maintainership. We are not doing GSOC. No, it's not the same. GSOC is more related to code, but I think mentorship program, it's more of everything. We have design projects, we have coding projects, we have documentation. So it's more of everything. Yeah. and it
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
maintainership actually.
So also like a little bit backstory. So we have like, we always like give updates about these programs on the AsyncAPI blog. So if you're actually looking to learn more about why we are doing this AsyncAPI mentorship, I mean, it was inspired by Google Summer of Code. I mean, so before we had our mentorship program, we used to participate in AsyncAPI in Google Summer of Code. And so unfortunately for us, I think we got rejected. So we couldn't participate in Google Summer of Code. And then we had contributors that had potentials, like really active and want to do something meaningful. And at AsyncAPI, we love giving back to the community. And we said, you know what? Why not just start our own, like Google Summer of Code? But now, not just Google Summer of Code, AsyncAPI mentorship program, which covers all kind of contributions, right? Design, documentations, and code, and all kind of contributions. And I mean, it was inspired to by Google Summer of Code, but it's not Google Summer of Code, right? So, but you can read an article I wrote about why we started doing the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So I'm gonna share it with you on Zoom and also on YouTube. So if you want to learn more, maybe also you want your community you want to start doing something similar to this, feel free to like check it out. And hopefully, AsyncAPI start setting the standard for other open source initiatives.
All right, thank you so much, Ace. We're taking the last questions for this call. Please ask. All right. Okay, cool. I think we've come to that time where we put out the announcements. Ace, can I share my screen? All right, cool. Okay, folks. So as I said, we have an announcement. So the call for applications is open. So you can start reviewing the current projects that are participating in the AsyncAPI maintainership program. And as I said, there are requirements. There is general requirements that are required by the mentee or by the applicant to do. Then there are requirements for each project. So one of the important things to highlight in your proposal is how your participation in the AsyncAPI mentorship will benefit to the community and why you want to become an open source maintainer. So those are the things that you need to highlight in your project together with each and every requirement that is required on the project. So you feel free. I will share the link as well to go through this list. And yeah, deadline will be on the 20th of October. So I believe it's 2 weeks. Yep. So make sure that you do the requirements. You have 2 weeks to submit your proposal. And yeah, as I said, different requirements for different projects. So make sure you follow exactly how the mentor wants the proposal to be submitted. Some they want it submitted via email, some they submit it via Slack, some via private DM on Slack. So make sure you go through everything. And like I said, read carefully, take time to read carefully, do the tasks properly. Avoid using AI for your application if you want to stand a chance, like to participate in the maintainership program. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. I'll also share the link. Oh, I can't.
So one more thing I would love to include in the AsyncAPI mentorship is also, this is outside contributors. So if you are working in an organization that's really love open source that also like uses AsyncAPI, we also like looking for organizations that are willing to like sponsor or get a slot for the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So as an organization, you can donate a fixed amount for each project. Like now we have $1,500 for each candidate. So if your organization is into AsyncAPI and would love to like help push this mentorship program forward, your organization can also donate $1,500 just to have one slot to the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So you can go to reach out to Tuli if you think your organization will be willing to like support the AsyncAPI mentorship program.
Yes, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be available. Yeah. All right. Like I said, any last questions? We still have 3 more minutes while I share the link.
So if you need help reviewing proposals, I love doing that. So if you have the initial draft of a proposal and you're looking for someone to help you review it, you can reach out to me, or you can just drop your draft proposal in the thread on GitHub, on the GitHub discussion. I can help you review the proposals, or you can reach out to me on Slack. If you need help reviewing proposals, I'm always happy to help review proposals.
Just the last question. Each of the project is aiming for 1 student per project, right?
Sorry?
Each of the projects is aiming for 1 student per project.
Is it just me, or I'm having difficulty?
No, I didn't hear.
Okay.
I guess he wants to ask how many mentors do you want for particular projects?
Mentors?
They are mentors. They
I mean,
are mentors for
maintainers. I'm sorry. How many maintainers are you taking in for particular projects? Number of maintainers.
Oh, that will be up to the mentor or the maintainer to decide. There is no fixed, just that will be up to the mentor to decide like how many people he wants for the project.
So I think, are you asking your question in relations to the mentorship program?
Yeah. With regards
Okay,
to
so yeah, in relation to the mentorship program, so each project definitely like for my project, I'm taking one. I only have the capacity to like have one because of limited budget. So I believe other projects also are limited to one final candidate. But in terms of like me, I'm not actually limiting myself to the paid program. So I'm also gonna try to like turn regular contributors to see how I can turn them to maintainers. But if you're talking about the mentorship program, I think each project only has one mentee, or because that is the amount of money, the budget we are working with the budget. I hope we had more money, but you can only wish. Okay, any other question before we call it a day? Okay, no other question. I'm just gonna add one more thing. So if you during this application phase, like I mentioned, I'm gonna start doing more of this Let's Talk About Contributing live stream. So you can always keep an eye out on Slack if you want to join me, or if you have questions, or maybe you have some repositories you would love to like, if you would love me to bring the maintainer on the stream, so he or she can like explain how to like how to start contributing to our projects. Feel free to like let me know. Yeah, just keep an eye out and reach out to me on Slack. I wish you all a successful application.
Yes. Yeah. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to just DM us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Yeah. All right. We can call it a day, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We will see you on Slack. If you have any questions, you can just drop any questions either to me or Ace. And if you want your proposal to be reviewed, you can send us in time so that we can review. Yeah, I don't have much to say, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, folks.
Bye.